I think it's absolutely terrific that Centre Parcs is coming to Longford. That's the first thing. I think everybody here is absolutely delighted. But one of the things they need to do is they need to appoint an entrepreneur to deal with the jobs that are. You have 1,000 jobs coming there, but there's so much more that we can tap into here, Sheila. You know, you have an opportunity with all the services that are likely to come to Centre Parcs. They'll probably go to Athlone, they'll go to Dublin, they'll go to Cork.
No way, they'll probably go to Athlone.
Right, yeah, well,
we need to have a portfolio of the services that we can provide here in Longford so that it is retained in Longford. We need a portfolio of the services and the skills that we do have in Longford to ensure that the business is kept in Longford insofar as it can.
Of course.
And we need, and if there are additional services that we cannot provide, we need to act as agents. We need to at least retain as much business in possible on the back of Centre Parcs as possible.
That's the
and if
point
we don't put a plan in place
we need a specialist to look after that. We need a specialist to look after that. There's no point relying on government to do that because they don't have the expertise to do that. You need entrepreneurs.
It's not politicians.
No, it's not politicians. It's entrepreneurs that will need to look after that. And the other thing is, you know, if you look at the jobs and things like that there, people have talked about IT jobs already. I've actually brought IT jobs to Longford. I know what they require. I brought 5 jobs there a couple of years ago, and then they were looking to move from Longford because they didn't have the facilities. I put together the investors to create a larger unit for them, and now they have 13 jobs there. So it is possible to do it in Longford. Politicians won't do it. It is investors who will do it.
Why are you running for election?
Because
I disagree with that. I disagree with what Jim is saying. Fundamentally. Sorry, Barbara.
Yes, Centre Parcs coming, is fantastic. But what we seem to be forgetting is that Centre Parcs will not be coming until 2019. What we have at the moment is a very acute unemployment situation. And Louise's question is, let's get back to the question, how do we sort out the jobs at the moment? And how do we give incentives? We need to give incentives to our shops on the main street that are not getting a chance. We need to give them a break on rates, give them tax incentives so that they can keep their doors open and that they can pay living wages to our people, who will then be able to spend their available income in other shops. It's a ripple effect, and it needs to be done to keep the shops open. We can't wait until 2019 for Centre Parcs. Yes, it is brilliant, but it's too long to wait.
Donald Jackson.
Even with Centre Parcs up and running, it's the only sustainable item. So if it goes, anything that's built around it is gone also. And it should, and look, you're right, talk it up, because it's producing 1,000 jobs.
It goes ahead or it doesn't go ahead?
No, if it goes ahead, it's great. And I'm sure all the indices are there to say that it is going ahead. But it's only one producing entity for employment. And if you build too much around that and it's gone, it's depending on people coming to pay money to enjoy themselves. How many times are they going to do that? Sustainable jobs are developed on consumable offerings that people want all the time. And the foreign direct companies coming in here, they export 80% of our products, right? But we've got to start looking at helping smaller companies, and even if it costs money to help them finance, but not to the extent that you're just giving them money to take them off the registry of unemployed. We've got to be sharper. We've got to be smarter than that. Now, and at the same time, from a foundation level, you must be educating your population. You must be, what I would promote is, when kids are learning 1, 2, 3 and ABC, they have to start learning computer code. It's not difficult. They have to keep doing that. And that's the way you build your foundations for sustainability.
I to a degree, Donald, I could agree with you insofar as you can't depend on one particular industry, but you would be hoping that that industry, once secured, be it Centre Parcs or anything else, that out of that will grow other sustainable jobs.
I don't have a problem with that, May, except for the term hope. That's uncollateralised.
But you see, this is where I
uncollateralised expectancy is the definition of hope. Listen to the word. Uncollateralised expectancy.
Sure. But you see, I'm really hoping that it will build confidence in Longford, and it will give those of us who are in politics a lifetime trying to achieve growth for Longford and confidence for Longford. It's giving us that opportunity, but I fundamentally disagree. I think we need a strong politician in Longford to do precisely what has been mentioned, and that is to ensure that those jobs are created for Longford, in Longford, the training is provided for them in Longford, by Longford. That's what I'm about, and that's what I'm saying.
All right, okay. Paul Hogan, you have your hand up there.
Thanks, Sheila. Yeah, just to deal with Centre Parcs, I welcome every single job that's created, absolutely. And as Sheila said, there was a lot of factors in attracting Centre Parcs to Ballymahon, the access, the wood, the location, and all of that. And absolutely welcome all of those jobs.
Point. Are we wise to focus in on just it and to hang our hat?
Well, do you see, the point I'm coming to is that the Centre Parcs will not be provided until at least 2019, pending planning. So the total job creation, the net job creation, goes back to Louise's original point, is net minus 56. So that is their totality job creation for County Longford for their 5 years in term has been minus 56 jobs. So the point I want to say is that it seems to me that the only job that they're interested in, and you hear the announcement from Cameron with 25% of their voluntary redundancies today, the only job that these people are interested in is their own job.
Okay, James, I'm going to let you answer that. And then we move to the next question.
I hope I'm not interrupted this time, but I want to say that if planning permission is granted within the next couple of months for Centre Parcs, 750 of those jobs will start immediately. Will start in 2016 here in County Longford. And we must remember that the live register figures decreased in County Longford by 19.5% between
for slave labour.
Sorry, James.
Will you please stop?
Sorry, James. Could you repeat that again? Sorry, could you just repeat that? I didn't hear you.
Sorry, the live register figures in County Longford have decreased by 19.5% between 2012 and 2015, and that's information from the central CSO that I have.
Immigration and engagement. And people dying. Is that what you're telling us?
The CSO figures last week saying our jobs are going up.
The idea jobs created in County Longford between 2011 and 2014. We have 233 extra Enterprise Ireland jobs, full-time jobs supported in 2014-2015. And we have 70 jobs C&D, 65 jobs at Green Isle Foods, and we have jobs being announced on a daily basis here in County Longford in small local enterprise businesses that doesn't get the publicity they deserve. 1 and 2 jobs in every single company. I know companies as we speak here today that are creating jobs here in County Longford, and those are the ones we never hear about.
James, anecdotally,
oh God, we would hear about them.
No, I mean they are feeling that because this time 5 years ago, and this time 5 years ago, I'm one that goes out and engages with the public. I meet people on their doorsteps. This time 5 years ago, there was 4 and 5 young people in homes, and mothers lamented the fact that their children would have to emigrate, etc. Now, I'm calling the homes. There's nobody in the homes because people are working.
They've emigrated.
They've emigrated, James. That's why they've left. And they've handed their home back to the banks.
People are working. And that's
delusional.
And that's because Fine Gael has a very, very strong policy on jobs. I mean, we inherited a country that was in turmoil.
And you've made it worse.
Back in 2011. We had broken banks, we had a broken government. And I mean, we have brought about the economy, and now we have it in a very solvent state.
Connie, make a quick point, because we're going to move on to the next question.
I'm just going to say, these figures are not real.
Well,
The unemployment rate in Longford,
the CSO
we are being
figures,
told,
the
is
CSO
18%.
figures,
Let me tell you. Okay, Jim. Okay.
The CSO figures.
Let me tell you.
The central statistics figures.
There's a huge number of people, not just have immigrated, but also are on activation schemes. That is still on welfare. And this is the current government's way of trying to fudge figures and make things look better than they are. The number, I can't get the statistics for the number of people.
We didn't bankrupt the country. We didn't bring the trike into the country.
You're currently using...
We didn't bring the trike into the country.
You're currently using the programme for recovery that the late Brian Lenihan, a very personal sacrifice, actually issued before he died. And ye have not changed that one little bit. You've implemented it as it was set out.
Louise, so you were asking about jobs. Can we see Longford as a sort of Kerrygold for organic frozen vegetables? If we're willing to create 2 frozen plants here that will freeze immediately all our fruit and vegetables. There's 3.4 billion euros in EU funding for us to support that. But it requires all us to get together, produce small-scale horticulture, freeze it, and then brand it internationally as Longford's own organic vegetables and fruit. But it requires all of us working together. We can provide our jobs for ourselves. The money is there, but it requires all of us coming together. Now, I don't know, are people willing, are they just waiting for another IDA? And that means another 5 years of toughness.
Yeah, can I just ask Jamie, do you accept that Longford is the most disadvantaged and materially deprived area in the Midlands region? The figures stand up for themselves in the socio-economic plan of 2015. Do you accept that?
No.
Because
no.
if you don't accept that,
you
can't work for us. The reality, so have I, James.
I have worked
it's got nothing
hard
to
for County Longford. I have delivered for
James,
County
how many
Longford.
times?
You have not delivered for
how
County
many
Longford.
times have you met with the Chamber of Commerce?
You promised
how
people
many
a number of years ago the Cardinal Health.
Can I ask you a straight
question? Why
Can I ask you a question? How many times have you met with the Chamber of Commerce here in Longford? How many times in your 5 years have you met with the Business Forum in Longford to ask them their problems and their difficulties?
I have met on numerous occasions.
You have never met the Forum.
Enterprise
You have never met
Ireland
the Chamber of
to
Commerce.
bring
You have never sat down with the people of Longford to ask what their needs are. James,
Longford.
And the question is, how many times have you actually engaged with the people who elected you for Longford?
Okay.
I wouldn't.